Boy, let me tell you. It was really nice to, for the first time in just about 3 years, wake up for a week without an itinerary. For 7 glorious days, I got to open my eyes for the first time in the morning without immediately going, okay, I have to do this for 6 hours, this for 3, this for 4, this for 2, and then I have to respond to my comments. And if I finish all of that early, I can relax for maybe 2 or 3 hours before going to bed. It was so nice, you can't even comprehend it. However, it was just about as bad, if not worse, for my growth than I feared. I took 1 week off, 1/4 of a month, and my subscription growth for the month dropped by 1/3. Yes, it's that disproportionate. And on Friday, I received 5 comments. For those who don't know, I usually get pretty close to 100 comments on the days I don't upload, way more on the ones that I do. So if you could all like this video especially hard to kickstart the algorithm for me, and subscribe if you haven't already, I'd appreciate that. And before I launch into this, I had a question for you all. While on break, I found my way onto a Reddit post where the OP was asking who people's favorite Transformers reviewer was. And I, of course, tried to find all the ones that mentioned me, because I'm a malignant narcissist like that. In all seriousness, I did it because I was worried that the people who answered that I was their favorite were going to get crapped on by all the people who hate me, and I just wanted to try and tell them that it's okay, and that it's fine for people to hate me, so don't get too heated on my behalf. I was pleasantly surprised to see that just wasn't happening. However, the reason I bring this up is because a lot of the people were saying something very interesting when they would mention me as one of their favorites. Probably pretty close to 1/3 of everyone who listed me also said that they love my content less for my figure reviews and more for all the other stuff I do. From my roasts to my rewrites to my power levels to my reactions. So I want to know, do you all think that I should focus more on that? Is that truly what you enjoy from me? Because I love keeping you informed. I love trying to help you save money by being one of the few people who will give you straight talk on a figure and not just praise it needlessly. But most of all, I love making you happy. So if I can entertain you better by focusing more on other kinds of content, then please let me know. Speaking of other kinds of content, today's video. Yes, you did not read that title wrong. I think my trepidation with this movie is legendary at this point. But for today, I am going to argue in its defense, because there's an argument that I see consistently come up as to why this movie is going to suck that I could not view as anything other than incorrect and unfair. So, to start off, I need to explain something that I've wanted to explain for the longest time, but wasn't really relevant to my channel after it turned out I wasn't going to be reviewing a lot of movies. All media, like TV and movies, are 100% comprised out of neutral elements. Your writing is neutral, your lighting is neutral, your characters are neutral, your direction is neutral, your framing is neutral, your choreography is neutral. Every element is, at its base value, neutral. And it is up to the creative team to utilize those neutral elements well or poorly to achieve objective quality. There is no such thing as an element that you can put into your movie or piece of media that makes it better or worse simply by existing within it. You might say that your director isn't neutral. There are good directors out there. However, look at Steven Spielberg, someone who many would call the best director of all time. He still made AI, and you can argue that's because it was a Stanley Kubrick movie directed by Steven Spielberg, but the end result, no matter what, is a bad use of your Steven Spielberg. Maybe a scene is lit so badly in a movie that you can't see what's going on, but maybe that's exactly the lighting that scene needed to do what it was doing, because it needed to be scary or confusing or something. Despite the fact that if it was any other scene in any other movie, not being able to be seen would be a problem. It is all neutral and must be utilized well. However, that does result in objective quality. Is each element achieving the goals it was intended to achieve? This is something that can be quantified and graded. But again, there is nothing that has quality on its own. A movie is not worse because it was filmed on a hand camera or like it was on a hand camera. Look at Chronicle. A movie is not bad because it was shot in black and white. Even though this is kind of a bad example, look at the 2010 German The Color from Outer Space. A movie that honestly I think would have been better if they didn't compromise on the black and white gimmick by the end. It was a good utilization of black and white, and that kind of thing gets used frequently for flashbacks and otherwise colorized movies. It's all neutral. You can't make a movie better or worse just because an element was put in it. What determines whether or not a movie is good is if enough of its elements are utilized well or poorly. And I explain all of this because if Rise of the Beasts sucks, then it sucks because it sucks. It sucks because they utilized too many of their neutral elements poorly. It will not suck because it's woke. In the same breath, it will not be good because it's woke. Woke or not, it is neutral, like everything else, and can be used well or poorly. It does not make your movie inherently better or worse just for it being there. It can't. Nothing can. I have made it clear that I hate the shit out of what I am seeing with Pablo. However, I am not going to say that the movie is worse because he exists within it. Maybe he is utilized very well in the film. I don't know yet. I don't like it, but the movie is not out yet, so I have no way of knowing whether or not the inclusion of him is going to have a positive or negative effect on the overall movie. Or it could even remain neutral. He could just be there and he doesn't really make any kind of difference or impact. There is plenty to fear with this movie. I have gone over and over how troubled the production is, how the director may not really be the guy at the helm of the movie, how they may yet still try to force this into being Schrodinger's prequel, regardless of how little sense that could wind up making. There is plenty to be concerned about. But it being woke is not really a thing that tells us anything yet. There have been rumors that the movie was supposed to be 4 hours long, and now the official running time is just under 2. If they hacked the movie down to half its length, and now scenes don't connect, and dialogue doesn't line up, and you have no idea what people are doing or why, can you really say that it would matter at all that it was woke? Would it being woke really cause a catastrophe that makes no sense to be worse? And if it was the best thing that you ever saw, with awesome action, compelling story, endearing characters, and perfect humor for what it needed to be, would it being woke really make you go, oh, well, it was woke, so it's not that good? When Bumblebee was already woke! Does no one notice that? Look, I don't like talking about people's races like it's a commodity because it makes me feel like the British royal family. How brown is the child? Man, I am just trying to piss off everyone with this video. But Rise of the Beasts has a Latino male main character. Meanwhile, Bumblebee has a female main character of, I don't want to get into it because it makes me feel creepy, let's just say very mixed heritage. Bumblebee has the edge on wokeness right now. Rise of the Beasts has a duotagonist who's a black woman. Bumblebee has a duotagonist who's a black man. Bumblebee's main villain is played by a black woman. Rise of the Beasts, a dwarf man. Bumblebee's plot involves the military being too aggressive and too trusting of foreign despots. Rise of the Beasts' plot seems to be about space Satan sending the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse to destroy the world. You can make the argument that Rise of the Beasts is more woke, and I'll probably believe you. But at the end of the day, Bumblebee utilized its wokeness well, and no one noticed. It can be done, and usually when it is, no one realizes. Because you aren't mad that the movie has woke elements, you get mad because the woke elements get done badly. Is Rise of the Beasts going to do woke well? We will have to see. Maybe every 2 seconds the movie is going to clobber you with a blunt message and you'll end up saying, oh god, can I please just watch the movie without getting preached at? Or maybe you'll get to the end and be like, the woke elements of that were incredibly over-exaggerated going in. I didn't even notice one. And if that happens, then maybe they really were just made up by a marketing team thinking that they could get more butts in seats if they promoted the movie that way. Or maybe they were just so well handled that they blended seamlessly into the movie, like they did with Bumblebee. It's not yet time to write the movie off with, it's gonna be woke, so it's gonna be bad. And even if it is bad, it'll probably be because of all the other problems it seems like the movie is going to have. There is enough reason to be concerned already. Don't let the movie be tainted before you ever see it because of something that is not inherently good or bad. I think that we can all hope that it's utilized well, because if it's not, well, pity us. The thing we love sucks again. And I don't think that any of us really want the franchise we all love to suck. Considering I still have a little extra time on my hands, I might as well try to preemptively defend the upcoming animated Transformers movie as well, because there's an argument that I've been seeing going around for that, and I think it's also very wrong-headed. I've seen from probably close to 20 people at this point an argument that's been phrased almost the exact same way every time. So high chances that it's something some YouTuber said and people wound up believing. But the argument goes, how dare the animated Transformers movie utilize celebrities for the voice cast rather than the normal voice actors? And I have to ask, why is this movie getting singled out like this? Every animated movie that goes to theaters from the last 60 years has had its voice cast comprised almost entirely of celebrity talent. From Toy Story to Shrek to the Lego Movie to the Dawn of Disney to now. That's just the way it is. Weirdly enough, it's far more likely for a live-action movie that has an animated character or puppet or some such thing to utilize actual voice actors than it is for an animated Hollywood film to have them. No one is being uniquely disrespected by an animated theatrical Transformers movie not using the classic voice actors. Would I like them to? Sure, yes, sign me right the hell up. I'd love them to do that. But it's not unique here, it's not weird, it's not Hasbro giving the voice actors we all love the cold shoulder again. It's just the normal thing that happens with these types of film. And to be clear, some level of recast needs to be done here. Peter Cullen cannot do young kid Optimus Prime anymore. If the movie comes out and Chris Hemsworth is trying to do an old man Prime impression, then we call foul. Until such time as that happens, the obvious assumption to make is that they needed someone with a more youthful voice. This movie does not have a problem yet, outside of it being on the sinking ship that seems to be Hasbro right now. By the way, the D&D movie was really good. It gives me a lot of hope that maybe Hasbro has their stuff together and they can make the Rise of the Beasts movie good. If you get a chance, I say give that movie a try. You don't need to know anything about D&D to enjoy it. It's basically just fantasy Guardians of the Galaxy. You will appreciate a few things more if you do play D&D, but it's a million miles from make or break it for the movie. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.